What is up, YouTube? This is Nev with Uncrowned Kings, coming at you guys with a Phantom Nightmare Case Tournament Top 8 breakdown from our friends over at Top Table Gaming. Hosted a great event on Saturday. Let's go ahead and get into these deck lists. First one I want to talk about is Sean Brown going 501, getting first place after Swiss, piloting Voiceless Voice. A couple cards in here I want to talk about. First is Protecting Spirit Logith. He decimated people with this all day. I cannot tell you how many times people were picking up this card and reading it. It's a great interaction piece that they don't necessarily see coming. Next is that Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph Dragon, as well as that Odd Eyes Wing Dragon in the extra deck. Great cards. Congrats to Sean. Next we have Uncrowned Kings member Teron Allen piloting Altergeist. He didn't get the memo that we're entering fire format, and he doesn't care. He said Magical Dimension was a big part of his deck, and Skill Dream was kind of a win now button. Talked about having Crossout and Nibiru in his side deck specifically for going first. Sacred Secrets of the Spellcasters didn't really come in for Snake Eyes decks as of Diabell Star. Again, congrats to you, Teron. We're all proud of you, Brody. Moving into it, we have Kyle Watkins piloting Pure Snake Eyes. It seems standard. There's a couple things that are different that I don't necessarily agree with, but it worked out for Kyle. First is the main deck Kurikara and the main deck 2 Cosmic Cyclones. They obviously worked out for him. I think we're going to move into a format of having Cyclone in the main deck, and I'm not mad at it. I do see that he opted for 1 copy of Subversion. I prefer 2 copies of Original. And the last card I want to talk about is the 3 Mistaken Arrests in the side deck. I talked to him at the event. He specifically said it was for shifter decks, and I'm going to keep it a buck. It worked out pretty well for him. Next, we got Austin Vuklik playing Voiceless Voice. I think this is going to be the standard one, but like I said, I do think Sean's tech of Logith is going to be a necessity moving forward. Not a lot to say about this. A really good deck that does what it does. The Super Poly is crazy. I personally played against Austin in round 2. He Super Poly'd me 3 times in game 2. Be on the lookout for this strategy. I like the Ultimate Slayers in the extra deck, being able to pop cards with Entis and draw with Garura. Summon Limit is a crazy card. Having access to so many things in his extra deck to just kind of do spot removal to make sure his plays get off. No wonder why he did so well. Next, we got William Horvat with Snake Eyes. This, I think, is going to be the pure list. The only thing that I want to talk about is the 1 Subversion over the original Sinful Spoils. But other than that, this looks about as standard as we're going to get. And it worked out well for Will. I think this is going to be the best deck moving forward, if not top 2, obviously with Fire King Snake Eyes being the other one. Again, pure snakes, running into a bit of a pattern here. All these guys that piloted the hand trap version of the deck, I think Impermanence was probably the best card I played all weekend. Noticed a couple solo releases in the side deck for a couple of these guys. Some guys elected for it, some guys didn't. Congrats to Will. Next, we have Uncrowned Kings member Louis Arona, back-to-back Louis playing Fire King Snake Eye. He talked to me about this deck in his deck profile. He said Effect Veiler and Imperm were the best cards in his deck. There's a couple of bit of random weird ratios with like the 1 Triple Tactics Talon in the main deck, the 2 Droll and Lockbird in the main deck, 2 Lancia, 2 Bell. He likes 2 ofs. Again, it worked out for Louis. Proud of you, bro. Congrats again on another case tournament top 8. We're looking forward to the next one. And the last of our top 8 deck profiles, we got Bill Wild playing Kashtira. The only thing that kind of stands out to me, again, we're seeing that Cosmic Cyclone come out in the main deck. You got 2 copies of Dimensional Fissure just for actual hate against some of these Snake Eyes decks. Shifter isn't a win button card in this particular list because of the Dimensional Fissure. He gives himself 5 copies instead of the original 3. I do notice he's playing 3 copies of Super Polymerization. I like it. I can't lie. That card, if you are able to play it, I think you should, and it comes down realistically to your extra deck room if you can afford to play the 3 slots. Kashtira has a lot of that room. We can notice that with the 2 copies of Shangri-La, 2 copies of Flare Metal Dragon, and 2 copies of SP Little Knight. Bill played his ass off for this event. Moving in, I did compile a little bit of this data from these deck lists. These are the most played cards in the main deck. I think this is the one thing we're all going to be kind of waiting for. We had 2.5 copies of Droll and Lockbird per deck. Pretty much if you were playing it, you were almost maxing out on it. Next, we had 2.125 copies of Triple Tactics Talents, 1.875 copies of Imperm, 1.5 of Ash Blossom, 1.375 of Nibiru, and 1.125 of Super Poly. The Super Polys being specifically those 2 voiceless voice, as well as the Kashtira in the top 8. This is the chart for the side deck. Now, I'm not going to go through every single card like we talked about with the main deck ones. This one is 10 cards deep instead of the occasional 6. Realistically, I think Bell is going to be the card to decide this format. A couple of these overlap with the main deck. A lot of guys were main deck and Ash. A lot of guys were side deck and Ash. Evenly matched is a house. There is nothing even about that match. I am telling you, this card is going to be insanely strong moving forward. Fire Kings don't put up a negate. Snake Eyes can put up 2 negates, but realistically, evenly matched is going to be here to stay. That card is insane. That is going to be it from me and the rest of Uncrowned Kings. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Again, shout out to Tehran getting 2nd. Shout out to Lewis getting 7th. And again, congratulations to all the other players in top 8. Proud of everyone. Make sure to keep going. Earn your crown. Good night.